Hi everyone, welcome to another episode here on my channel, Delusional Until You're a Genius. And I was scrolling and I was browsing through some of my videos, how I started my candle business. But I just wanted to give an update why I did not pursue my candle business. And so for those of you who are interested, stay tuned and let's get started. A year ago, I decided to dabble and kind of gain experience and learn a lot of things in my capacity to build my own product in my own business. And I've always been fascinated with candles, but ever since like 2020, nung dumating ako dito sa United States, that was the time that for some reason, I had this tunnel or eagle's eye about what I think and what I feel about candles, and I started to have that obsession. And I've always been in the industry of digital marketing, personal branding, influencer marketing, and with all the careers that I've had in the process and the stages of my career, from being a flight attendant and graduating with an entrepreneurship degree, and then working for a bank, and then after I started becoming a social media manager while as well building my content and my profile, that on the side I was managing other brands. And I wanted to invest and also um, gain more experience myself, how I would be able to develop a product from start to finish and being hands-on. So I've learned a lot, especially in the product development phase. And I also learned at what level, as a content creator slash whatever you want to call it, influencer, which I don't consider myself in that caliber, but or in that level. But I there were a lot of raw and authentic and genuine reasons as well nung mag-start ng mag-develop ng channel, is I also wanted to show to my audience and to the people who has been following my social media accounts for a very long time of what I was trying to offer. I did have made a few sales, and a few people who have been following me have bought a few things on my website, and as well directly through me. And it was a good learning experience. One, the experience that there are many things in my business plan that I poorly lack execution, especially when it comes to marketing, which I was looking at untraditional marketing, and I didn't have the budget as well, so that was another concern at the time. So, those were, I guess, the big factor why I did not pursue or started or really considered this as the end to all my means. But I'm still really very passionate about this because I took the time to design and to, by the way, guys, this is my nails. Okay, so I kind of started getting into recently after I turned 32. So if you guys can see, I've this is a reflection of my aesthetic, the font, and everything in it at the same time. A brand that's kind of close to my heart, representing my heritage and my culture, being Filipino. And I was a flight attendant, so I wanted some remnants or some story behind why I chose the name Lay MNL. And it's still in the works. I still am finding more ways to show you guys. This is one of the final product. And besides branding, besides applying everything that I learned about personal branding and executing a campaign, there were a lot of things that I was not willing to hook myself into if I was really about to take this consumer packaging route. One, I wasn't raising enough funds or enough money to really execute my end in mind vision goal, how I wanted to land shelves. And there, I know that there were a lot of marketing efforts that I needed to execute if I really wanted to be known in this space. Investing in publication, investing in influencer marketing, by sheer volume of producing handmade candles, which I didn't had time at the time. So those were one of the struggles, and as well doubling more down on content, which I didn't really had enough time, again, because I have other things to do. I have other things in my job, in my career, that I needed to prioritize and focus on. And so there were a lot of missing pieces in the execution of my candle, why I decided not to pursue it. And I wouldn't say that it was a failure, because I did not really gone and foresee the entire life cycle or entire business life cycle or time span for me to say that I've done all and exerted all my efforts in the consumer packaging space. And when I was also looking into and studying other potential competitors that I have in the space, and candle is just one of the most competitive niche and industries to compete with. But it was such a good learning lesson for me to dabble into the consumer packaging space, as I've learned so much intricate processes, especially the DNA of the product itself, how it resonates to just something that I truly believe in as a content creator and as a business owner. So yes, guys, you can still follow this, by the way, on my Instagram, which is the late Aminal, if you guys want to look into some inspiration. And also, don't forget to follow me on my social media accounts. And also, if you are interested for more like life, business, and entrepreneurial tips and career, if you're part of the LGBTQ, so please sign up to my newsletter, which is at www.duygenius.com, and let's connect, okay? Follow me on my Instagram as well, which I'm more active there as well here. I'll try to respond as much as I can in the comment section if you guys have any question. This was not my bread and butter. I was enough in a way. I got lucky because I was really able to exercise and get and learn a lot of experiences from sourcing out my raw materials and how can I cost cut when I wanted to, where I find and get my suppliers. And a lot of my candle vessels came from Alibaba. So I ordered a lot of them from Alibaba. It was just way much cheaper, and also running into logistical problems. And since this is kind of fragile item, so it's kind of prone to cracks and breakage during shipping. So that's another thing that I learned how more to negotiate better with my suppliers. And it's a long process, yes. And I didn't had a team at the time, or I didn't really wasn't really delegating at the time at my career when I was still a social media manager, before I started coming full on agency, and still I needed to make revenue for myself and doing a lot of content creation. So there was a lot of neglect that I committed, and that kind of happened along the way because I was prioritizing more my career that earns me more money, rather than pushing a product in a sale that really did require time. So in short, I did not put so much time and dedication and invested all my energy into this candle. So that were the challenges, and I still needed to make a revenue, make profit off of it. And that was also the time that ad spend or just social media ads were at its highest peak. And it was that crazy that I remember when I was running an ad campaign and navigating and also making my own edits and structure of how to set up an ad campaign on Meta on Facebook ads. And then I covered that we have not converted yet, but we have populated the pixel that's needed for that website to gain traffic. And I was just realizing that I was spending more on running ads. And in short, to summarize what it kind of, in a way, failed, maybe, and the reason why I did not pursue it was I was really a one-man showman team, and that I was the same time you're the one who's making the candle, and I didn't have enough time to create a large batch candle and cure it at a specific time, and then move and shift into marketing, and then create the marketing campaign, and then reach out to multiple different people like influencers. And those were kind of the struggles, and pitching myself to different press and publications, that I did not really have enough time, because the time that I invest in this candle also takes away time to other things that brings money to my business and to what I do. So I'm gonna get my car washed, by the way, so join me, guys. Okay. I don't want to give the wrong impression that that I took everything for granted, but no. But I was really enjoying so much creating and exploring this newfound passion that I really wanted to explore. But I take everything as a learning lesson. I've learned so much because I've learned to identify my weaknesses and what I truly need to execute a type of product that I'm passionate about, because I'm still very passionate about it. I spent a lot of time compiling a lot of mood boards and compiling a lot of inspirations and designing, going back to so many revisions. I just can't imagine anymore going back to the amount of time I spent understanding and learning a few basic principles about design. And so I did struggle with that in the process. Dahil, again, if I had to consider the time that I needed to spend to be focused and provide all and give all my attention to what I was doing, then I was really taking away with a lot of things that I needed to do to be more productive and sustain a living. And again, I think I was probably pushing myself really over the edge. And even though I wanted to raise capital, I don't have the enough network, enough skill, and enough self-development and personal development to really take on a CEO kind of level, especially in this venture of the space that I wanted to. And so that was one of the struggles that I also discovered more than anything, that I feel like in the next coming years to come, if I decided to pursue my candle business, then I would feel like I would perform better. So it's also sometimes inevitable to question yourself. I think a lot of entrepreneurs will experience this, is you sometimes suffer with imposter syndrome. Can you actually do it? Can you actually execute this business? And I think anybody who's not started, or who's a newbie to the industry or to the world of startup and founder life, I think it's just normal and to question yourself or doubt yourself. And I've suffered with that multiple times until to this day sometimes, executing and working with multiple different people. And now that I have a dedicated client that I'm personally working on branding and just the entire landscape and the entire format of the marketing of the business. But you learn as you go, and I think along the way you kind of also learn to develop how to strengthen those weaknesses and those self-developmental areas in your entrepreneurship skills that you might develop and uncover along the way. And so every day is a learning lesson, and I know that life can be very challenging sometimes when there's always money or revenue involved. And working for a corporation and also kind of consuming so much content about like startup journeys that is available out there, I think I was also not prepared that if I started raising capital and I started having a pool of investors, that there would be that pressure for me to please my investors. And I think I started to launch and develop a product which is in the candle space at the time, in a space where it's extremely challenging across the board to be successful in the world of consumer packaging goods and in the health and beauty wellness space. And there was an influx a few years ago and until to this day where there's so many different beauty brands, consumer brands, fragrance line popping right and left. And that was the wave where there was an endless amount of content and content creators selling you products. And at the time, I thought I couldn't miss that train. I didn't want to miss that train for my brand or what I do and what I sell and what I offer, to miss that gold rush. Without these mistakes and with these choices that I made that did not work out in my favor, also really helped me to come up with a better marketing plan and business plan and create a list of things to avoid and things to do that I need to do if I'm really envisioning myself to have this notable brand sitting in front of the shelves or with many other retailers that I wanted to sell my product. I think I also struggled because I didn't have enough network of connections and people who are potential buyers of retailers who are trying to stock their retail stores or retail space online to sell. And with that, again, I didn't have enough marketing efforts, like really promoting or expanding my brand awareness efforts and my brand awareness target goals, that I kind of thought that, okay, this is where I'm missing at. And I am now more focused in my digital marketing business, which is pretty much, you guys already know like what I do. If you just try to look into my website, what I offer, some of the strengths that I've been very good at for a very long time now, and I decided that it's best for me to niche down and hone my experience and not spread myself too thin, trying to do one too many things at a time. That kind of became, I think, my downfall, because you tend to realize after so much task that you needed to do is you cannot be perfect and you cannot be good at every single one of them. That if you do best at one thing, 100% sure that you're taking something out of other tasks and other things that you do that you might either one have oversight, or it might just be executed poorly, in my opinion, and basing on the experiences that I've had, trying to launch a product, trying to build and solidify my own personal brand, and doubling down in the production of my content creation. So it was really challenging, and trying to build more network in the social media space. And social media is ever changing. Has gotten extremely competitive compared before, and even though that there are still for sure many new ways across the board to like innovate and find your golden ticket in the world of social media, but that's, I guess, a journey for a lot of entrepreneurs. And that's about it. I'm still hopeful that one day, when I have enough time, when I have enough more experience, and that I can have a solid foundation of marketing and budget as well, that I'll be able to confidently execute my passion, because I believe it's a passion. And I had, I've almost forgotten about it to be honest, but, and I was looking at my things and then I realized looking at this object where all my passion and my drive and affinity to entrepreneurship and business started. And I think it's like a good method or a good way to niche down to what you're truly passionate about or to what you want to do, because in the world of entrepreneurship it's gonna be a test of your brain power, experience, emotional intelligence, even your intelligence, and time, effort, frustration, like everything all mixed in between. But hope one day you guys learn something in my journey. And for those of you who find value in the things that I do, don't forget to follow me on my social media accounts that will be flashing here in the screen that you can find in the description box down below as well. And don't forget to follow me on my social media accounts. And thanks for watching and see you in the next, and goodbye. Okay, I just came from the grocery store and it's about to rain. So, Miss, Missy, 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 Missy.